Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk about the future of Star Wars movies. Now this video is getting ready for my new series that will be uploaded on Saturday, and if you want to know what I'm talking about, then watch my most recent video before this one. Anyways, if there is one thing that we know for sure, is that there is a new movie being worked on, most likely pertaining to the new High Republic era that they seem to be pushing more now. And with it, there is a lot of potential to make it great, or it could end up like the sequel trilogy and absolutely divide fans once again. Now, I want to give my opinion on ways I think the new movies going forward can be improved. Now, the first thing that I think could be improved is the story elements that aren't explained until after the movie. Because it's going to happen to where there's going to be a time jump between movies and the opening crawls are meant to catch you up. But when it comes to the motivation of characters or details about the story, I believe that if it isn't important enough to make the final cut of the movie, then there's really no need for it to be added into the novelization. Such as the fact that Rey's dad is really a clone of Palpatine, not his son, and the fact that the body of Palpatine is also a clone, not the original. Even if we go into the Return of the Jedi novelization, there is way more detail of what the Emperor and Luke talked about that wasn't in the movie. These are the details that should have been in the movies that just weren't. I just feel like that if a plot point is that important, then they need to show it in the movie instead of telling us in the book. Now, the second thing that they need to improve is overhyping characters ahead of the movies. Now, Maz Kanata, Captain Phasma, and Zori Bliss are all characters that are hyped well ahead of their respective Star Wars movies, but had little to do with the overall story. Now, even if we go back to the other trilogies, the Gungans were hyped ahead of the movies as well, and so was Boba Fett. Now, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but Boba Fett in the movies really didn't have much to do in the overall plot. It's not until that we get to see him more in like comic books, novelizations, and later the Clone Wars TV show with the few episodes that he's in, that we really get a new respect for the character. Now, it's obvious that it's in Lucasfilm's best interest to have a bunch of cool looking characters people want to buy toys of, and I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is the overhyping of these characters, only to see that the movie months later and learn that they really weren't anything more than a shiny stormtrooper in red armor. What they really need to do is promote characters who are going to be impactful to the story, and maybe more mindful about deciding which characters are worth having around to tell a story and which aren't. And there's nothing against the Sith troopers. I mean, they did basically reveal that Revan is canon again, so I mean, there's that about them, but to see that they really weren't really that skilled in combat, that they really weren't anything more than just a red stormtrooper, was a big letdown for me in the movie. Now the last thing that I want to talk about, and the thing that I really just need to do away with, is machines that destroy planets. I mean, the Death Star and Starkiller Base were effective fear-mongering devices for a hot minute, but ultimately not worth the time or effort for what they accomplished. This is especially true when considering how easy both were destroyed, in that the fear they struck in destroying planets only really strengthened rebelling against them. I'm also a firm believer that if Star Wars depicted more personal acts of destruction and violence with its villains, it would be far more effective. Now, blowing up Alderaan, for example, was probably the most PG way to show genocide. But showing things like the Empire or the First Order raiding villages and hurting others, to me would make the evil shine so much more in my opinion. Plus, I'm over the Death Star knockoffs. I swear, if I see another thing that blows up planets like the Death Star, then I'm going to be very upset. I mean, they just need to move on at this point. Now, I just want to say that these are just a few things that I could think of to make a video on, but I really want to know more about what you guys want to see in the Star Wars movies going forward. And if you want to see my new series breaking down the movies and TV shows, then definitely subscribe because I think it'll be a lot of fun and maybe we'll all learn something. Now, I know I called it a breakdown because I really don't have a name for the series yet, but to me it's so much more than just an ordinary breakdown because we're going into more than just the lore. We're really going into how it's made, why certain things are shot the way it is, why certain key elements in the story are there, and really why things so small like lighting and camera angles really influence our opinion on a story. Because guys, once you understand the importance of all these things in a movie or TV show and you're able to spot it, then I feel like it gives you way more appreciation for the story. So if you want to see that series, then stay tuned, subscribe, because it is coming this Saturday morning, and I'll see you all in the next one.